What's going on, y'all? I had to come to this immediately because I'm getting some comments on this last video. Like, I'm supposed to be promoting some, wanting to promote because Xbox is not making any more hardware. Like, why the hell would I do that? That's mostly what's flooding everywhere. So we have another counter to this, but we don't know if this is true, but this is my thing. The Xbox official hardware handheld was canceled. I don't understand why Microsoft would want to continue. Do I want the magnets to come out though? Yes, I think that would actually be interesting. Anything to keep something interesting going, right? So if you guys want to know the answer to that, because people are wondering, no, I don't want the magnets to be canceled. Do I want Xbox to exit out and do bad? Why would I want that? No, that's why we're still here doing this. I would have just moved on and just, glazed on that, but we're not. So apparently, according to Jez, but we do not know. This is not confirmation, but he's saying this. No, Xbox is next gen console. I didn't know they were going to make a console anyway. I thought they were done. We're just doing OEM models. Hardware plans aren't canceled for now, but it's a problem. He says for now. But it's a problem that it was really easy to believe because of all the negative stuff coming out. And I agree with him on that. That's a lot to talk about here, though. Okay, so, and there's a report, and we're going to get into this report, but like I looked into it. It's not anything exciting, but we do need to find out the details here. Going down, we have people basically trying to mock Jez, saying, no, Xbox is importing its console exclusives to PlayStation. It's just hard copium. They're basically saying he's trying to damage control. I don't necessarily think so. And he's like, this tweet is dumb and I regret it. And I look into it, I like because he's being honest about it just being dumb. You know what I mean? He made a mistake. It's okay. But there's some things, like I said, you just can't see that stuff coming. You know what I mean? So we're not trying to downplay Jez here. If it's not true, Microsoft should have gotten out ahead of this a day ago and dismissed it like immediately. That's what I'm saying. Because no, we can't have that. They're not saying anything, man. Once again, it's this company's unprofessional behavior. Just like I was telling you people the same thing about Game Pass and the profit, and it may not be profitable because they're sitting here playing games with you, not sharing the real results. Now, this would happen if they were more professional and just said, no, it's not happening. Why is that so hard to do? Right now, somebody can come out and say, guys, Xbox hardware is not canceled. It's okay. Everything is fine. Is that hard to do? No, seriously. Do you not deserve that simple communication that even somebody in elementary school can do for you? You see what I'm saying? You're not getting it because they don't give a shit. And you're not that important to prioritize and reply immediately to. Now Microsoft has declined a comment and they don't, nothing, just have, you got other people coming out. You see what I mean? We're coming out. It's embarrassing, man. Like all of this. This could all be quelled if they simply come out and said, no, we're still continuing hardware. Even if it's OEM, you see what I mean? But we're not getting that, so let's go ahead and go over to this. No, Xbox's next-gen hardware plans are canceled, he says. Rumors are swirling that Xbox is going to kill its hardware ecosystem. It's not true. For now, whatever that's supposed to mean. But it easily could have been true, given how nonsensically Xbox acts lately. This is why I tell people, I feel like a lot of these people coming to bootleg and damage control in a different sense in some of these comments, because it's like, I think that's more believable now than ever. Whoever said we wanted that to be true, you're coming to me like, I'm like, oh yes, I'm so glad it's dead. Let's continue on. I'm so happy. Like, no, I don't think so. I think it's bullshit. Definitely if you pro-consumer mislead people, get them addicted to Game Pass, sign all these partners, say you're doing this with AMD, and then you just shut it all down without any answers or anything. Yeah, I kind of felt like there's some doubting in some of that too. Like that was probably the wrong way to do it, and it's a cowardly way. Like Nadalia wanted to like avoid their responsibility and said, I don't want to be seen as like anything or not. I'm done. Here, I'm throwing it to you. We're done. I don't want nothing to do with this anymore. Like, and I don't see how that's not possible. He's made it very clear in his email. And see people say he didn't mention Xbox. Yeah, he didn't mention it. It's not in the damn plans. Look on the other side of the spectrum. He doesn't give a shit about it. He threw that responsibility to somebody else. What is there to cope on with that? You see what I'm talking about? For people, not for anybody else that has to say anything, but I'm like, he didn't mention anything about it. And he's saying that's their most ambitious and all the best people he wants lined up for that. Their vision is that. He does not give a damn about gaming. So I don't see why he would even want to promote anything hardware-wise. So Xbox's next-gen plans remain unaffected, at least today, he's saying. So today, rumors began to swirl across the internet that Xbox is planning to exit hardware and move entirely to cloud gaming as the primary way to access content. If you want to have it all across all devices and all that, of course. It can't just be focused on the hardware and limiting the cloud aspect to it. That's why they moved the cloud to the PC, and they're doing the PC aspect. I don't know anything about no console still being developed. I don't know about that. at least for now. But that at least for now. But if it is, why would I be against it? Hey, man, let's see what happens. Qualifier is a real problem. How can we know what will be true next quarter? They're always moving the goalposts. Very true. Let's put aside for a minute the fact that Game Pass remains a primary driver of revenue, and it's most prolific on Xbox console hardware, and that's where the bulk of the users are right now. Let's put aside the fact that Xbox Cloud gaming is restricted by location and is expensive to run. Combine that with the fact that with the same silicon, you could give people their own cloud natively in their house and get them to use their own electricity to power it. Like a console. It doesn't make a lot of sense on paper, but regardless, that's where we're at. All these rumors emerged in the wake of Microsoft's barely explicable 50% price rise in Game Pass and the loss of Call of Duty, and the weird tone-deaf way in which they tried to present it as a good thing, throwing in Fortnite crew and stuff people didn't really ask for, pretty much. The fact that these latest hardware action rumors continue to seem plausible is a real problem. It showcases, to me, a very deep disconnect between Microsoft and how its audience community at large views gaming in general. Takes two to tango. That's why I said a lot of this blame is on Microsoft and their unprofessional behavior. They're cowardly hiding the numbers, not admitting their failures, coding it with all this nonsense, and just not being honest with their fan base. So that says a lot about how they think about you. I could easily be just a random source claiming that Xbox hardware is still on the table, but it was our sources that confirmed the existence of the Xbox Series XS, their specs, their price, in addition to reports on the canceled Cloud Keystone console, or Keenan or whatever, that official, and shelved first-party Xbox handheld, and more recently the Ally, codenamed Keenan, or Keenan, however you want to say it, and compromised of Omni, Xbox Ally, and Horseman X, the Ally or Xbox Ally range is part of Microsoft's multi-year partnership with AMD, which will include tailor-made devices from first party. I've asked multiple trusted sources, many of whom spoke to me on the above devices previously, which turned out to be true, about what Xbox's present hardware posture is for now. It remains unchanged. So he's saying, according to him, he's talked to people on the inside and they're saying they still want to finish this. Okay. Hey, you're not going to see me get mad at that. Why would I get mad at that? I'm curious. I'm always curious, and I always want to see new hardware. So it's not necessarily bad if this is true, or they're just saying, I don't know, we're going to find out, aren't we? Like he said, things can change. You don't know this is permanent. At least that's what he said for now. For now. Right? So then he said, Microsoft publicly confirmed that it's still committed to first-party Xbox hardware over the summer, with comments from both Sarah Bond and AMD Lisa Su on silicon that would power next-gen devices both in third and first. But that was back then, though. The original comments came from a gaming forum and suggested that Xbox's focus would be on its core mega franchises like WoW, COD, and Forza. And so on, the hardware plans were up in the air, not actually canceled. These comments morphed into Xbox's hardware is canceled from various commentators and have now taken on a life of their own on social media as people speculate on the future of the Xbox platform. From what I've been told, the Xbox plans are not even up in the air and remain firmly Xbox's path forward. Xbox Series XS hardware production has not ceased, they said, and new stock will go out to retailers at its usual cadence. But even if Microsoft did not come out and squash the rumors themselves, it's hard to have any faith. It is. Microsoft has been incredibly fickle over the past few years, crushed under AI hype, demands from the CFO Amy Hood, and a complete dereliction of fan feedback. The planned restructuring of Xbox Game Pass was months in the making. And beyond their apparent macroeconomic need to make even more money, it's based on user behavior and desire to boost the content fund for the cohort most likely to unsubscribe without new content. Codenames appearing for the new tiers of the summer, and it's not the result of a quarterly knee-jerk reaction, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't change anything. Combined with huge price hikes, retailers like Costco and other removing Xbox hardware, and Microsoft having massive layoffs over the summer and earlier, it's not unsurprising. People are speculating on Xbox's demise, which is all that going around. It just seems like that. I can understand that. That's very possible. Definitely what people heard. How could you not go off of it that way? Nobody did anything wrong. Now, if you want to celebrate the death of it and are happy about that, that's a little bit different. Microsoft is absolutely awful at managing faith in its consumer products. Respect, Jess. And I've written previously about how the telemetry, about the telemetry driving its decisions and its diffuse focus is leading to a collapse in moral in the brand. %, because that's why nobody wants to buy it or support it. You have to strengthen your brand. They don't do that though. And Satya doesn't believe in the Xbox brand. He believes in Microsoft and what he raised to be the $3.7 trillion market cap. And that's what he wants to see along with the rest of Microsoft, because that brand is just not working and it's not making Microsoft look the way they want it to look. So they're just going to do whatever it takes to make it look that way. If not, then exit out after that. Gaming is not a necessity or utility, not for Microsoft, no, but for Sony and Nintendo, yes, definitely Nintendo. It's driven by sentiment and fun feeling. People need to also feel good about where they play, and Microsoft is making it incredibly hard to feel good about Xbox right now. It's clearly reaching a crisis point. It's a very genuine statement, and I'm glad he said that. Xbox to Paria. Okay, this feels like 2013 again. It does. I've been covering Xbox for over 10 years at this point, and I started when Microsoft bombed Xbox One's reveal led to a groundswell of hate for the brand and its future. It was fostered by a sense of betrayal and what Xbox had been and represented, and led to a huge climb down that effectively dismantled the Xbox One platform and put Xbox firmly in third place forever. Lately, it feels like we're back in 2013 again. The industry looks very different in 2025, as maturing audiences and a lack of meaningful new player growth has companies breaking the rules to find new revenue streams. We've seen Xbox games sold onto PlayStation. We've even seen PlayStation games bring games to Xbox. Microsoft has licensed out the Xbox brand to OEMs with the Ally and the Ally X. The inconsistency is exhausting for fans, and in a sentiment-driven business, potentially untenable. The one constant that Xbox fans could point out to among all of this was the clear value of Game Pass, which is what Xbox is now in the soul of it. Xbox Game Pass is the best value in gaming, or so the meme goes. It was, yeah. Despite the same price rises over the past couple of years, it was hard to overlook what a stellar year it had thus far, with games like Expedition 33, Blueprints Doom, Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remake, and others. But with the unprecedented 50% price increase on the tier that actually goes day one games, the negative reaction has been incredibly strong. It all just feels like another betrayal, particularly given President Sarabon's comments on Xbox Game Pass is profitable and also hitting $5 billion in revenues. The way Xbox presented its changes as a good thing came across as tone deaf, especially given how other companies are pushing up prices while also simultaneously recording record profits. So you're saying you're making $5 billion, but yet you're jacking up the price. But you're not making $5 billion in revenue, and it's not profit. It is a lie and a deception of adding in Activision and idle microtransaction profit for games that are on Game Pass, covering it with that, but not telling you the real number. It's bullshit. Just like the ROG Ally selling out and the hype is real. And then what happened after that? Massive anti-consumer and all this stuff. Like I said, it's all fake. So it's hardly surprising that these rumors gain so much traction, because even if they are not true today, they could definitely be true tomorrow. It's hard to take anything with Xbox or anything what today Xbox says or does on faith, because they're apparently willing to throw away anything and everything on the fire if it means a quarterly boost for profit. Very true. The inconsistency is exhausting for fans, more likely concern for developers, and a sentiment-driven business, potentially untenable. So not plausible. So apparently it may still be happening, but is it hard to believe for it to stay stable? Because that foundation is shaky. Like he said, it's hard to have faith in that. It is. You don't know. And as I said before, they could exit out and take Game Pass with them. You never know. Be more alert and stop bootlicking. And remember, we're out here telling you the truth, doing the work. Where's Microsoft at? I don't see them. They're not saying anything. They need to come out. So not just having to go to somebody to the side. It's like, what are you scared to say something? Like, you see what I mean? Like, what is going to happen if they came out? As a matter of fact, they would just quell everything. Would you like the drama on Microsoft? Wouldn't be surprised. Peace.